am a publisher, and one day my daughter Christina asked me to write a novel with her. Well, that day was long ago, and that little girl is now an adult. But our novels live on. The Truth Seekers Mystery Series highlights a homeschool family, the Murphy teens, in an action-adventure novel that is sure to entertain as well as teach creation truths. To get your copy, visit our website at truthseekersmysteryseries.com.
This is a production of the Ultimate Homeschool Radio Network. Welcome to the Vintage Homeschool Moms Show. Your host, Felice Gerwitz, is an author, a publisher, and your radio show host. She will encourage, educate, and inspire you with answers to your most pressing questions, from homeschool, marriage, parenting, and much more. Felice loves to equip moms to live a Christian life because every moment counts. Be sure to visit her website at mediaangels.com. And here's your host, Felice Gerwitz.
Hey friends, this is Felice Gerwitz with an episode of Vintage Homeschool Moms, and today we are going to talk about last-minute holiday prep. You can find the show notes at vintagehomeschoolmoms.com. Okay, I agree, everything homemade tastes better, but it's not always possible. And with our hectic, busy school and holiday schedule, it's almost impossible. So what's a parent to do, especially if we are talking about last minute? Obviously, if you have plenty of time and weeks ahead to prepare, then that's a whole different story, and it's a podcast for another time. Actually, I do have some other links to previous podcasts that I have done on holiday prep, so I will put those show note links in. Today, I am going to share with you the biggest secret I have, and that is keep it simple. I was one that always wanted to do everything from scratch, and things have changed a bit around here. And especially as the countdown is on and it's time to get those last minute things on your list or begin mega shopping for the items you need. Through the years, I began to build slowly and ramp up my holiday celebration, but it wasn't always like that. I tried as much as possible to keep it simple, but you know, it always gets more complicated as time goes by. For example, somebody else is coming, or you find out that you don't have something on hand, which has happened to me today, that you thought you had in the freezer. So you know you're going to have to make those last minute trips to the store, but it doesn't have to be overwhelming. If you downloaded the holiday planner that I had on the website, then you'll have all kinds of recipes and tips to help. But here are a few in a nutshell. The first is you're going to look at your time. How much time do you have? Is it days or just a week before the meal you need to pull off? And if you haven't baked everything from scratch, believe me, it's okay, and you have my permission to buy ready-made. I know. I used to make homemade bread, I used to bake, I used to keep on top of it all, but it would be one entire day of baking. Now, I just don't have the time, and truthfully, my help grew up, and some of them, well, one got married, and some are in college, and some work, so I don't have all of the help that I had when my kids were younger. And yes, I do recruit the grandkids, and they are amazing. Two of my grandkids, I call them the rolling machines. They can roll bread dough or cookies or whatever that is, and they're just like so focused, and we get so much done when they're here. But when it's just me alone, like I said, it just becomes overwhelming. And that's when I'll take cookie dough that I've made, and I'll just put it in one of those aluminum pie tins that are like for pizza pans, or I'll take a square cookie sheet and just put all the dough in and make one big layer bar. So we can do things like that are shortcuts. They're still super yummy, and everybody loves them like that as well. But you don't have to think about things as being overwhelming, especially if you can figure out a way to make it easier. So for those traveling, first, think about your travel plans. If you can at all possibly start packing early, do it. Because our minds go into this, subconscious, and then you start adding things that you may have forgotten. Today, I got up early and I did some things I had to do before I could start my day. And then I started writing a list, and I only needed a few things at the grocery store. So I put that list in my purse, and I went on and did other things that I was going to do that day before I went to the grocery store. And wouldn't you know it, 2 very important items that I had forgotten popped into my mind when I wasn't even thinking about the grocery list. So friends, that happens, when you have started something and you're going to go back to it. Your mind helps a lot and helps you to remember. If you're going to bring a covered dish or dessert, remember that you're traveling. My brother is such a sweetheart. He loves to cook as much as I do. And he offered to make a smoked turkey. He has one of those egg things. If you've ever seen those grills, they're amazing. But we're going to have to heat it up when he gets here, or he's going to have to make it the day before. So while I love him for thinking about making the turkey, instead we decided he could bring sweet potato casserole. Even though I do have sweet potatoes already pureed and frozen, I'll save them for another time. But he's going to bring that and some banana bread, which travels well. So be thinking about that. Remember, kids can help, and they're so awesome. Be sure to encourage them and, have some kind of treat for them. When my grandkids were here recently, I had these little treats that I buy, specifically for when they come over. And yes, it's a store-bought treat. I know my other self is showing here when I used to make everything homemade. But they were so thrilled, to get something as they were leaving because they were so helpful. You don't always have to reward kids, but they really appreciate it. After all, most of us who have little ones underfoot, still manage to get things done. If you really need the help, call a friend. Tell them to come and watch the kids while you are baking or prepping or doing whatever. And guess what? Do 2, and you can have your friend take something home, so it's a win-win. If you have older children, of course, enlist their help. For those who are hosting a meal, and I'm one of those now, the basics of any meal obviously are the main course and the sides. You don't need 10 main courses and 10 sides, okay? Been there, done that. So you don't have to get carried away. 2 or 3 items max. In this day of gluten-free and allergies, it's really good to know what your guests can eat. I keep some things in my freezer to make it easy. For example, I have frozen zucchini noodles. I can heat those up quickly. Or frozen chocolate cupcakes that are gluten and dairy-free. These can be taken out and defrosted. And I happen to keep some frosting in my refrigerator that really keeps well. All right, here's another one of my tips. And this is something that I swear by, and I do this all year long. I have a ton of pre-made things in my freezer that are homemade. For example, I have mashed potatoes and pureed sweet potatoes. I label them with a Sharpie with the ingredients I'm going to need when I pull them out and get ready to prepare them. I have frozen sliced apples with sugar and cinnamon, ready to make a pie, or I can use it for apple bread or even an apple cake. I defrost the bag and add all the ingredients and bake. I have green beans that are steamed and frozen that are ready for a casserole, and I make them differently. So if I'm just going to steam green beans, I'll do that before the meal. But if I do green beans for a casserole, I want to cook them a little bit more and have them, be a little bit softer. So I have those ready. I have frozen broccoli, mixed vegetables, and of course, frozen zucchini spirals that I mentioned earlier. If you don't have a freezer full of frozen made food, it's okay. You can buy pre-made at the store or leave enough time for baking the day of. I always have my desserts ready ahead of time and they keep well. I don't use all of this food. I'm not going to use all of this food for, the meal that I'm planning for Thanksgiving or even Christmas, but I have options depending on what I need if I need to pull out more food. Each holiday, I serve lasagna, and that has become, dare I say it, made for months in my freezer. It's a family favorite, and it feeds a bunch of people. Baked ham is also reasonably priced and feeds a large group of people, and typically little kids like ham. Whatever you do, keep in mind that accidents happen. No, I haven't burned a turkey, but one year it seemed to take forever to cook. Another tip for the day of the feast is to keep breakfast simple. Lunch can also be simple with snacks. We tend to eat midday because the prep takes longer than a noon meal, and family travels from different places and many want to get home that same day. I have appetizers, again, think simple. Fruit and veggies, a dip, cheese and crackers, trail mix, ready, and it's ready to go ahead of time. The things that I bake, and that's one thing I do like to serve, is I'll take a round Gouda, and this year I couldn't find a round one, so I bought a square, and I'll probably cut it into circles because I like it round, and then I'll wrap it in crescent roll dough, and then bake that the day of, but I'll have it all prepared, ready to go in an oven-proof dish that's in the refrigerator covered, so I don't have to do that the day of. The last tip, that is, love your family, hug your kids, and have some games, puzzles, and activities for the little kids to do. Play the thankful game with family and friends. And I wish you and your family a wonderful holiday. May the love of God be with you and your family always. From those of us at the Ultimate Homeschool Podcast Network, we send you our love and our hugs. Thanks for all of these years of support. Take care, God bless, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Thanks for tuning in to the Vintage Homeschool Mom Show. Visit Felice at MediaAngels.com and TheVintageHomeschoolMoms.com. Vintage Homeschool Moms is a production of the Ultimate Homeschool Radio Network.